We met off of Tinder. We actually talked on and off for a year, and she'd never want to meet me, and she had kids, so obviously she couldn't just meet somewhere. But I kept on pushing her and started hitting it off, and I coordinated the proposal with her mom. She was sitting at the kitchen table, and then I just walked over there and off the top of my head said some stuff.
The best thing that's ever came into my life. I love you and definitely want to spend the rest of my life with you. So, will you marry me?
Yes.
And she said yes.
When we got engaged, of course, I was so excited, over the moon. And then we had a big wedding. I had been married previously, and I didn't have a wedding with that one, and Quentin knew that, so he wanted me to have the wedding that I wanted. We found out we were pregnant with Beckett. You know, we had Beckett, and it feels like we were really just starting our life out, and then it feels like everything got taken from us. You wanted to get some chips or something? I got my popcorn. Do you have everything that you're taking? Did you get chips? Or did you take your antibiotic? Yeah. Is Quentin what? Getting up today? Yeah.
If I were going to change my name, I'd go with Dion.
Oh, no, that was the dry heaps.
I'm gonna go. We go put that in your hand pocket. That's Sissy's Nana.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I'm excited for school.
Good. How's your first day of school pics? Do you want to do them outside or inside?
Inside.
Say cheese! Beckett! Say cheese! Okay, y'all just look at me.
What's the worst thing that can happen?
Okay. Don't you put them there.
Bye.
Hey, love you. Have a good day at school.
You okay right now?
Yeah.
What? You don't need anything? We'll do that. Okay. It's up.
I do not need help. Find me in my class.
Wow.
I know.
And they don't open the doors till 7:45. And Beckett got moved up to the 2-year classroom.
Oh,
So they all had first today. He wasn't happy though. It was a new teacher. So I'll give him his medication. So he has to have blood pressure medicine, and we have to wait like 15 to 30 minutes for that to kind of start working before we get him up, because if we try to get him up instantly, his blood pressure drops and he feels like he's going to pass out. Yeah, we do that, give him all of his meds, and then he has to have his pain meds so he's not in so much pain during the day.
I loved everything about the job of line work, doing transmission lines. Sometimes, people in there, they wake up and are like, oh, I hate my job. I don't want to go to work. today. It was never like that. It was going to work and gonna do something good, try and learn something new. And one morning, I was going to work and a truck pulled out in front of me, and next thing I knew, I was in the hospital. And just don't remember anything from that day, which is probably a good thing.
The day of the accident was awful. Like, I answered the phone and I remember hearing sirens in the background. He traveled for work all the time, and of course, those oil-filled highways and things like that, you're nervous anyways. And so that was always my fear, was to get a phone call like that you had been in a car accident or, something happened. I was actually walking out of the door for work when I got the phone call. I had Beckett and his infant carrier on me. Both kids were right behind me. We were walking out the door when I got the phone call. So we had to calm down for a little bit because my daughter was her and Quentin have had a good bond since day one.
Hold on. You need to hold them?
I remember the phone call. Kind of like it's just right there in the back of my mind all the time about her calling me, and the kids are crying. She was crying. That day was just, I don't know. It's almost like it's a nightmare of watching her realizing what has happened and then what had been taken from Quentin, and watching the suffering. We had just played golf about a month before, and I was looking so forward to us having a summer full of golf, not of him being in rehab. So.
He has some moments where...
My diagnosis is a C3 complete quadriplegic. It's kind of devastated, I guess. Because you don't want to be a burden to anybody. Sometimes I'll start thinking about things and makes me cry that, I can't. Just about, not being able to do things for myself. But I'm still working on finding my new normal, as they would call it. And it's pretty hard to, for going from everything that I did to not being able to do anything for yourself. So, big change. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get your wheelchair ready. Do you feel okay to get up?
I think so.
When we first got there, we didn't get to see him, and then they took him straight into surgery. So I didn't get to see him until that evening because the surgery took 8 hours for his spinal surgery. And then, just that first initial seeing him with the tube down his throat and hooked up to all these monitors and stuff like that. And he's bloody from lacerations, and it was not something that I would like to relive. It was hard because he couldn't talk to any of us. It was like a bunch of blinking or, however we could find for him to communicate with us. So I don't think that he really had time to process things because of the way things move so fast from the surgery and then the intubation, trying to take that out. And so I don't think it was until that second hospital that he got transferred to that things really like started setting in for him. And so he was like asking us like, why can't I get up? Like he'd already been told, you know, that he was paralyzed and he wouldn't be able to walk. But then he was having those moments of, he just didn't remember, like he didn't know what happened. Like, why can't I just get up? And so he dealt with a bunch of like panic attacks and anxiety for a good while because he would forget, you know, that he can't do anything. He didn't feel like a human, I think, was mainly what he said. He didn't know how to be a husband anymore, didn't know how to be a dad anymore. He says that, you know, I'm being punished for this, and I just tell him that it's the result of someone else's poor decision making. I can't imagine, you know, being the sole provider of your family and getting up and doing things that you wanted every day, and then the next moment it's all taken away from you. I can imagine how that feels.
Well, I have 3 kids from a previous marriage. They all live in Idaho with their mom. Every time I had days off, I'd go back there to see them. But now that I'm in this situation, it's pretty hard.
3.
I'd say that's a different route than I've ever been.
Yeah. It's a lot of driving.
Yep. What are you doing?
Not much, just hanging out.
How you feeling right now?
I feel pretty good today.
Did that infection go away?
I don't know. It might have.
You might have.
I can't feel anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, I get UTIs, urinary tract infections from my catheter, and I don't feel anything, so I don't know that I have it. So I have it, and then I go septic. I was septic 4 times, and then this last time I was in septic shock. So they'll give me the IV antibiotics in the hospital for so many days, and then and they had to put it in can I get a sorry and they have to put it in an artery in my arm, and
I know it's been hard for him and I to like distinguish that line between caregiver and husband and wife, because I am caring for him all the time and we don't get to do the things that we used to do. We promised each other when we first started dating and then like getting into marriage and things like that is that we would always date. We would always go on a date at least once a week if we could, or, you know, as often as we could. And since this accident's happened, we've only gone on 1 date.
My daughter is my hero, for sure. The strength is just truly amazing on what she's had to overcome. I truly don't know how she does it. She has missed out on so much of the kids' stuff. The kids stay with me during pretty much any time they go to the hospital. Like when the accident first happened, I had all 3. They stayed with me so Keely could be at the hospital. I would taking them to school, gymnastics, to helping them with homework, just full time. I'm actually taking over what Keely and Quentin can't do during all this time. So a lot of heartache through the process. They miss their mom, and they miss Quentin. And Bentley really has a really close relationship with Quentin. So trying to help her work through that process of, she felt like she'd lost Quentin. And, you know, he had taught Branson how to ride a bike. He just did so much that they haven't got before. And so I know they were suffering just that loss again. Like, what's Quentin going to be able to do with us? And the baby, like, he is a handful. He doesn't know a whole lot of difference with Quentin being in the wheelchair, but he is sweet with Quentin in a lot of areas, like sitting in the chair with him, but that's got to be very hard. And I think that I see frustration in Beckett. My mom can hold me and love on me, but why can't my dad? And, you know, I know we would lay Beckett right up to Quentin so Quentin can give him kisses and he'll kiss on Quentin, but there's got to be something there that you wonder what that's like for Beckett to not have that, you know, physical touch. He'll never get. And he had it for a little bit. I think there was some good bonding at the beginning, and I'm so lucky that they had that. But it is concerning, like, what that's going to look like later.
Well, I have 3 kids from a previous marriage. We have 3 kids here that are with us. 2 of them are from a previous marriage that Keatley had, and then we have 1 together. It's hard. You can't help them do things, so I feel kind of, you know, like helpless on things. Yeah, Beckett was 5 months old when the accident happened. Knowing that I can't pick him up anymore, or you know, when he gets older, I'm not going to be able to really help him try and ride a bike.
You don't have any papers for me?
I don't know.
Since the accident, like loud noises, like really get to me, and so,
Go take it over there.
you know, they'll just be being kids and loud and that, so like, you know, get on them for being loud. And I think I have a short fuse. Yeah, I guess I don't see how it's affected them. I'm sure it's been hard on them. You know, loved to barbecue. We barbecued a lot, you know, on weekends, have people come over and, you know, just have a good time, good conversations, good food. And then I would manage the yard, plant flowers and stuff. I guess have kind of a simple life. Golfing was fun. I'm not very good, but it was still fun getting my butt kicked by her mom and stepdad.
I'm super proud of him, how he's handled it, because I don't know that I could handle it like Quentin has. Just how hard financially it has been. My daughter lost her job. That was one of the hardest things, is when she lost her job. I would love to see her just not have that struggle of like, how do I pay my bills? And we've had to help them some. You know, I take over on Bentley's gymnastics, but financially I would just like to see his bills paid off. You know, the medical taken care of, any future needs. I mean, I wish he could get the top of the line everything, just because he deserves it.
Sometimes I get to where I don't want to get out of bed because I don't want to face the fact that, because it hurts everything hurts when you get out of bed, and it hurts getting put in my chair, changing clothes, just everything hurts all the time. And when I'm trying to get in my chair, and when she puts me in the sling, she has to lift me forward, and that is really painful on my neck. Once I'm in the sling and she starts lifting me up, it starts squeezing my body, and the places that I can feel causes, like my shoulders being squished, really hurts. And then when we get into the chair, it's hurts my neck and shoulders to be positioned in it and get into the sling, take it out. And I usually just have to lean back in my chair to help with the neck pain. It just brings tears to my eyes. I mean, I kind of came to the conclusion that it is what it is. I can't change anything. So, just have to deal with it. And accept the fact that somebody's going to have to do everything for me for the remainder of my life. Supposedly working on a chip to put in people's heads to make, like, if you're quadriplegic, it'll make you walk. And they said they're years and years away from that. I just think they should take responsibility for what happened, because he saw me coming and figured I'd move out of the way for him. It'll be good to know that, I'd have money for if, I ended up in the hospital again, or, to pay the bills. Just sucks. That's kind of how I feel, most of the time is, this just sucks, but I gotta live with it, which Keely does an extremely good job of taking care of me. I wish I could do more, but it is what it is.